When the Most High weighs a person's deeds on the scale of life, the truth is exposed. Now, if the scale is negative, it is tickle. That's the word tickle. I looked it up. I looked it up to see how to pronounce it because dyslexic and all that stuff. And I be trying to, I be fascinated with words, right? And so it sound when I put it in Microsoft Word, the pronunciation came tickle, and I was like tickle. It may sound like it's something funny. You know how somebody tickle you, but honey, it ain't funny. It's more like the opposite of tickle, cry, right? Because when the Most High put your deeds on the scale, if the scale is negative, it is tickle. And according to Daniel 5:27, tickle means you have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. You know what that means? Sweetie, your scale is short. When it's time when that buzzer go off, check the scale. And God check that scale. And if your scale is short, I mean your math isn't mathing. That mathing, that means 1 plus 1 is not equaling 2. 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4. Your scale is off balance. You're supposed to have 2, but you got 1. You're supposed to have 4, but you got 3. Sweetie. Remember when God came and put the people that got the talents, he put their talents on the scale and see what happened. Okay, he gave one 2 talents, he gave one talent, one 2 talents, and one 5 talents. And then God came back to say, okay, let me put this on the scale to see what this is what I gave you. Now what do you have? Right? Okay, so now the one that had 2 talents, God had gave him 2, right? And then he had gave 2 more. He was in balance, right? 2 and 2, right? And so one had did 5. He had 5, and he worked that thing, and now he got 10. He gained 5 more, right? And so the one that had 1, he had his little 1 that God gave. He ain't increased nothing. He's not profitable. He don't went and buried that thing somewhere. It ain't working. It ain't gaining no interest. It ain't doing nothing. And so his scale was off balance. And you know what God did? God punished him. God took away that 1 he had and gave it to the one that had 10. Because if you're going to work it, God will add to you. But if you ain't going, God don't like to waste nothing, sweetie. So if you ain't working what he gave you, don't be looking for some more and asking for some more. You got to learn how to balance your scale, right? Okay, let me move on. Now, I don't know about you, but my goal in life is to hear the Lord say, to hear God say, well done, good and faithful servant. That's my goal. Well done, good and faithful servant. See, that's why the top 2 commandments are my best friend. Love God and love others. Those 2. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Those 2 commandments right there are my best friend, right? Now, my advice is to be quick to apologize, quick to forgive, be compassionate, be kind, and love, love, love. If you work your scale like that, you gonna be putting some positive stuff on there. Your chances of having hearing the word tickle is slim because you won't be negative. Your scale won't be negative, right? Now, again, I convey the scale is one of God's many treasures. It is accurately flawless, absolutely perfect. And it is scam and tamper proof resistant. It's scam resistant. You can't get over on God. You can't scam God. You can't try to slide in through the back door, through the window, and all kind of stuff like that. That's not man's corruptible justice. You can't bribe God. It's scam proof. It's tamper proof resistant, and it's scam resistant. Okay, just so you know, so you can't be cheating. You got to be honest with God. You can't cheat, right? Okay, now let's take a moment and review the scale again because In that previous video, we went over the scale, right? Okay, now all three scales, 1, 2, 3. Now, this is a baby doll, okay, of course, it's just a prop. This is a poster board. And this scale right here, that's just for decoration. It don't do nothing. I mean, it's a lamp, it lights up, but it kind of give you an idea, it has the outline of a scale, right? Well, all these are fake scales, but they're for illustration purposes only, okay? They're functional to a certain extent. They're not a real scale that's measuring. It's not the scale that God is using. Okay, now listen. Okay, all three scales are parallel, right? Okay, all three have a top. I'm going to use this part. There's the top, there's the head, there's the top of the scale, there's the top of the scale. Because I'm going to be using this a lot. That's why I want to show you how this lines up with this so that when I'm putting different things on the scale moving forward, you'll understand, right? Okay, so now all of them have a top, all have a bottom. There's the bottom of the scale, right? There's the bottom of the scale and the feet. The feet are the bottom of our body. Our body is a living scale. I already covered that in season 1, so you already know that. So the feet is the base of the scale of the body, right? Okay, now you got the center of the scale, which is the heart, right? The center is the heart. See right in the center of the scale? All issues come out. We're going to get into that a little later. I'm going to cover it in this video. Okay, so that's the heart. That's the center of the scale. See how they parallel, right? Okay, now you got the right side of the scale, 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 right? And then you got the left side of the scale. Left side, left side, left side. Let me turn this around. Look, Mama on the cross. See, that's a scale. See the scale, right? Okay. Hey, sweetie, so pretty. Okay, look. Okay, so now you got the right side, the left side, the right side, the left side. These are the scale pans. This is, okay, we're supposed to be profitable, right? And so that's why we want God to bless the works of our hands, because those are our money makers right there, right? Okay, on the side of the scale, right? Okay, now, the scale pan. So I went over all of that. I went the top of the scale, the bottom of the scale, the center of the scale, both sides of the scale, right? Now, in the next video, I'm going to give you some clues that I found tucked away in some of my favorite scriptures. Now, I believe these nuggets will help you maintain a positive weight. These characteristics are pleasing and acceptable to God, right? Okay, so I found some scriptures in the Word that you can apply to your physical scale to make sure you're doing what God wants you to do. So when your scale is weighed, your deeds are weighed on the scale of life, you will have a positive balance and not a negative. You will have a surplus. You won't be in the red, so to speak, right? Okay, now, the body. We're going to put the body on the scale.